Hola to my online family. Imagine how stupid you've got to be to make a mistake. I don't know about you, but I have never made a mistake in my entire life. Said the person who never tried anything. Now, a while back, I posted a video to my YouTube channel, and it's talking about getting ripped off in Montenegro because I got charged double the price for a pair of tyres. People went onto that video, just a few people, and they ripped into me for not having a spare. And I agree, it was a mistake on my part. It still doesn't justify me paying double the price for a pair of tyres, but I do agree it was a mistake nonetheless. One person said, "You plonker." Another person said, "Tosser." And another person said, "Imagine how mentally retarded you have to be to not have a spare." Now, don't worry. On this video, I am not here to fight against the haters, because if anything, I actually find these comments laughable. What I'm actually going to do is the very opposite, and I am going to feed these people further, because I want to share mistakes that I have made throughout life, and there have been many. And if you guys think that just not having a spare wheel on a van is a mistake, you wait until you hear some of these. And what I want to say to the good people out there, to the kind people out there, to the people who do make mistakes, if you have ever made a mistake in your life, don't worry, it's okay, because you are trying, you are learning, and you are growing. Anyway, moving on. I had a business called Tom and Simon's Kitchen, which was a mobile fish and chip business. I started this business when I was 19 years old. I'd never cooked fish and chips before. This was a fish and chip mobile catering van. I'd never cooked fish and chips before. I'd never run a business before I started this. I was actually so desperate to get out of my previous job, which was air conditioning and plumbing. And if you'll have watched what it's like to work with wankers, you'll understand the people that I was working with. So I started this business really in desperation to escape the situation that I was currently in. Anyway, in this business, do you know what happened the first night that we turned up to serve our fish and chips? For starters, the menu was £4, £4.50 and £5. So nice round numbers. And do you know what I brought for change? I bought my piggy bank from home, which consisted of 1p, 2p and 5p. The first person bought one fish and chips with a £20 note. The fish flopped like this. Do you know why? Because we had no mesh where the oil could drip down for the batter to stay crispy. So the fish was quite literally swimming again, but this time not in the ocean, in the oil. And it soaked up all the oil. The same with the chips. There was no drainer. To counter the chips being soggy, we just covered them all in salt. We put them down. The person didn't even try them because they didn't have to. They looked that disgusting. And you know what that first person said to us? She looked at the fish and chips and she looked at us and she said, "What is that? You can't serve that to people." So do you know what we did? We closed the hatch and we went home. There are many other mistakes in that business. I could be here for days Basically, every single thing that we could have done wrong, we did do wrong. But eventually, we rectified all of these problems. We didn't make the same mistake twice. And that business went on to be a very good business. We were selling out every night. We even had to take phone orders because we were so busy. We ended up going on BBC Radio Nottingham talking about young entrepreneurs. I sold that business to one of my best mates, Wayne. He's running it today. Those fish and chips went on to win the National Fish and Chip Awards. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not the mistake that defines you. It's what you do from the learnings of that mistake that defines you. I've mentioned in a previous video that I was working in car sales. I worked at Volkswagen and I worked at Mercedes. I once let a customer take a car without paying for it. That's correct. They got the car for free. I got taken up to the brand director's office and he wasn't too pleased. They eventually got the money, but that's a true story as well. One last mistake for you. I ran a business called We Are Entrepreneurs, which failed. I'll share more about these businesses and these ventures and these journeys in another video so you can hopefully learn from these. Because I've had successes and I've also had failures. In that business, if you've seen my previous video talking about bullshit courses, online scams, and be careful what you read, then I was trying to solve this problem of basically creating an online education system that's affordable for the world to stop people getting ripped off. We were interviewing entrepreneurs, business owners, we were doing online webinars, I was partnering with universities, we were doing talks, and it was an all-in-one system to stop people being charged thousands for these courses. Anyway, I was too far stretched. But you know one of the mistakes that I made in that business? I went to interview someone. It took a while to set up this interview. I drove from London to Oxford. I couldn't afford proper camera equipment at the time because I was bootstrapping the business. I interviewed this person with a GoPro. I got home and I listened to the video. Well, I say listened. There was nothing to listen to because I'd accidentally left the case on the GoPro. So we caught the video, but there was no sound. So I'd completely wasted my time. Anyway, people, I wanted to share these mistakes with you because hopefully for the people out there that do receive messages, and if they have ever made mistakes and people ridicule them, and I want you to know that it's okay because everyone makes mistakes. The people who are ripping into me and saying, which is only a few, don't get me wrong, on that video, I believe it had 179 likes, 7 dislikes. What you'll find is the 7 people there, they make the most noise. They're like those little yappy dogs. They're small. You don't really see too many of them, but flipping heck, do they make a loud noise. And they're just yappy, ratty little things. And that's these people. And you're going to find them everywhere you go. But you know also these people who have said this about my spare tyre and forgetting a spare tyre, they are watching me travel the world on their couch. The people who will have laughed at me making mistakes in businesses will be working a 9 till 5 job that they hate, and they will have never have tried to pursue their own adventure with business. It's okay to make mistakes. We learn, we move forward, we grow. See you on the next video, my online family.